Where were you in the pecking order of the siblings? Were you in the older part or the
She
younger
shows
part?
me, I don't know the exact number, but she's sort of in the middle. So I think she's maybe third or fourth.
Okay, did you have to, were you a parentified kid? Did you have to help raise some of the younger, younger siblings?
She laughed at that word, parentified.
Mhm.
When you grow up in a big family, everyone helps out.
Yeah, of course you have to.
That's just how it is. You know, everyone has a job, everyone has a role. It's like I can see her brothers, or two brothers out in the farm, you know,
Yeah.
working like very young,
Yeah.
and she's doing chores. I mean, this is just
Yeah.
like everybody has a job. So
But
yeah,
she
did
sit,
you help?
take care of the babies, things like that?
She's holding a baby,
Mhm.
and she's probably well, then she has babies when she's a baby, she says. So it's like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, she goes from holding, her mother's babies to her own babies.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's not a lot of break, I don't
Oh my
think,
gosh, that's
in
something.
between those things.
Wow. All right. Who is your favorite singer now? Or it could be in the past. It could be Hank. I don't know. I mean,
Well, she's standing there with Hank.
yeah, so come on, you better watch out there.
I mean, they came in together and he's still
Yeah.
standing there. So is he your favorite? He says, it's hard for her to say one favorite because she has
Oh.
many.
Yeah.
She does hold Hank Williams in the highest regard. She her sister, she calls her sister, but she means a friend. Hold on. Her sister is Patsy.
Okay, Patsy Cline.
Yes,
Okay.
Patsy Cline.
Okay.
She loves, so she calls her a sister though. She calls her a sister. Like they feel very, very close, like soul sisters. As far as anybody alive, who does she like? There are people I don't know all these people's names, but she's showing me a group of people in Nashville right now that are like doing something different in country music, and there's like a renaissance happening. It feels like there is she's showing me like these different venues and musicians, and it's almost like a return in some way to this very old style of music.
Yeah.
So we'd have to look up more about that because I don't exactly know what she's talking about. And that she really loves this particular direction that country music is going in that particular group of people. So she's just kind of giving I see it's not like big names of people, but that's who she likes in terms of what's happening in country right now. That's what she likes the most.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a renaissance happening.
Oh, so I'd like to ask Hank, sir, why did you decide?
Yes, he says yes, ma'am.
Oh, why did you decide to come along with Loretta Lynn? And what would you like to say about her or you?
He says support. She wanted a company and support. They have a connection. It doesn't feel romantic. He's laughing about that I said that. It feels more like he's saying there's a soul connection, that they would come in sort of around the same time to create, there's a lot of change. So in some ways they had similar, although he has different, there's a lot that's different, but similar roles on the planet. And they kind of like, the way I would explain this is they knew each other and knew the role that they were going to play ahead of time. And so they're like soul friends, if that makes sense.
Okay. Did they both come in usually as catalysts?
Yes. Catalysts. He is really, he's like a quieter energy. She's more kind of bubbly and And he is more quiet. He's a little more reserved, not standoffish, but just like a little shyer, I guess you could
Okay.
say. Catalyst. He just said sheepishly, you could call me that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when Patsy Cline died, how did you take that, Miss Lynn?
Okay.
How did an airplane crash?
It was, she's showing me she saw footage, or it was playing on a TV, or did they play it on the news? It probably played it on the news, something like that.
Yeah.
Or the announcement. It's like how she found out was really
Oh,
not right, I guess. Let's see what she says.
Mm.
Was one of the most difficult moments of her life.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And continued to be. She is able to, I can feel this grief, like there's an immense grief. I mean, immense. She's able to, one of her qualities is like very resilient. I mean, this soul had
Infants and
on
death. Yeah.
a
2K.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
very, very resilient, and she has a specific quality where she doesn't really like, when she's on the planet, and even now, I guess you could say, she doesn't really focus on the past, but she just keeps moving forward. Like that's how
Yeah.
she does it.
That's
And
how she gets over her
Ye-
hardships.
yeah, and she
Awesome.
keeps putting it into song.
Oh, yeah. That's compartmentalizing it so it doesn't eat at your heart, maybe, or maybe that helps. And it's emotive.
She says it still can eat at your heart, but when it's put into song, she knows that the songs themselves will help others.
Yeah.
And so her heartache serves a bigger purpose.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I could sing to get rid of my grief, but that would cause a lot of grief for most people around me. So I ain't doing it.
But she says for you, because and also I think she's here today because of this day for you.
Yeah.
Like I think there's something,
Yeah.
she's,
Yeah.
because she knows the pain of losing a child.
Yeah.
And that's why she showed up. That's why I didn't know she was coming.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I didn't
Well,
have any
thank
idea.
you. Thank you
And
so much.
she knows the pain. Oh, she's making me.
Yeah.
Lose, devastating pain of losing a child, and she's here to part to offer her love and support
Thank you. That means so much.
today.
Wow.
To you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hard to wrap my
I can
head
feel
around.
it. Yeah, but she's wants you to understand that her songs are the equivalent of what you're doing right now with other people.
Mm.
And that's the equivalent. That's the way she could handle it, with her
Yeah.
marriage. She's not saying you have a bad marriage or anything, but she's saying with her marriage, with her, all the
Losses.
loss. And her songs are like oh man, she's so beautiful. Sorry, I'm crying. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's sweet that you are.
Her songs are the same equivalent of what you're doing. So she just very much wants you to understand that she very much respects what you're doing right now to help others.
Oh, I'm going to listen to your songs all night.
And she hopes they bring you some comfort today.
I'm sure they will. Mm.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason for this that I didn't even understand.
God.
Oh.
Well, can you talk more about some of your hardships that you did put into song? I mean, your marriage, the death of children, anything else that really financial hard, anything else? Patsy's death, your parents.
All of it. She shows me, she didn't write about finances much because they didn't have anything she didn't have anything growing up, but she also, she says, didn't want for anything.
Yeah.
And she says she didn't really think about being poor that much because it was sort of just like,
A way of life.
yeah. And it
As long as
was,
it's surrounded by love, parents,
and
siblings.
she wants people, oh, this is important. She wants people right now who are struggling with financial hardship
Yeah.
because there's a lot of your listeners and,
Oh, yeah.
just in the world, there's a lot of people because of COVID and all the job
And
insecurity and all
inflation
that.
and gas. Yeah.
Yeah, but she wants this message to go out, and it's one of hope. That if you have food, if you have a place to live, and you focus on the love in your family, that it can, gosh, she's so beautiful, that it can get you through these hard times.
Yeah.
And that's,
is in love, wrapped up in love.
yeah, exactly. And she wants to really convey this to people because it's not that important if you have, fancy clothes, or she's showing me like a nice tour bus. So she must have had a nice tour bus.
Oh, I bet you did.
Or even she has a guitar and it has like diamonds and, on it, like
Wow.
I don't think it's real diamonds, but it was like fancy,
Yeah.
she's LORETTA LYNN, right?
Yeah. You
But
have stage presence, man.
yeah, exactly. But if you don't have much, focus on love.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't, this message is for people who don't have enough to eat, because there are some listeners that are struggling with that.
Oh,
She's saying to hold on for better days
yeah.
because they will come. And her message is one of hope, to not lose hope when times are difficult or dark. And she will say, because her songs, they're not all happy songs, but they bring they make you feel better. That's what I
Yeah.
felt, they have an energy that,
Even the sad songs are emotive and like, okay, she understands me. I'm going through this too. So
exactly, that's what she was trying to put in the songs. It's like, so she says, if you like her music, listen to her songs and they will help, whatever. If you don't have enough food, it's not going to be fun for you, but this can help you feel better as you're struggling. So she's just giving that message to the listeners today and her fans, because without her fans, she wouldn't be who she is.
No.
So she's really grateful for her fans.
It's a beautiful co-creation. So what was your mission this time in this incarnation as LORETTA LYNN, your spiritual mission?
She says, she's showing me her contract. Wow, that's interesting. I don't ever do that usually.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, let me look at it for a second. She's like, here, look at it. Oh, so she's not letting you read all the fine print. Kind of funny. But so one of her rolls, it's like a white piece of paper. It's sort of like an old, literally like a scroll. And it unrolls, and she's saying, there's overcoming great, hardship is really big part of her goal. And she wrote a lot of hardship into the contract. She's not talking necessarily about her childhood, even though they didn't have a lot. That's not what she's talking about.
Yeah, no, it's marriage and loss and
really all the loss and her marriage was not particularly good.
Okay, yeah.
And she picked that so she could overcome this hardship. She just says one line: I came to be a song to the world.
Oh, wow. And so your song not only helped others to help others to their hardship, it helped you, get through your own, correct?
My song reminds others of what it means to be human, the difficulties we all share, what it means to love and to lose love.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Do you have any regrets looking back? I mean, if
Oh,
it's a
oh,
contract,
sure. Oh,
oh,
sure.
really? What kind of regrets? I mean,
Not
obviously, it wasn't
not
right or
anything
wrong.
she needs to do. She feels her life was complete, and she can see why it all. I mean, she's still kind of reviewing it. It's
Oh,
not
yeah, I
all
can imagine. Yeah.
right, but she can see why it all happened. Even this, like, I mean, all of the like challenge she encountered
Yeah.
was so she would create this incredible music, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing to think that we like pick these things so that we will
So
do.
that we can have fodder for beautiful songs.
Yeah, and
To
it's
help others.
it's powerful. It gives, oh, she's like also giving women a voice in all of this.
Oh, good.
Okay, but as far as regrets, it's not, she can see there are things she could do better in the next round.
Everybody has that.
Mhm.
Okay, so what were you here to learn in the contract? How to endure, maybe?
Fortitude,
Okay.
endurance,
Mhm.
overcoming. There's a lot of poverty in her Akashic record.
Oh, wow.
Like, and for some reason, this lifetime, she was like, I'm gonna go in and experience some of the same thing for a little while, and I'm gonna overcome it.
Oh, and
You
get
know what I mean?
yeah, sure, sure.
It
Wow.
wasn't, she didn't, it was interesting. She doesn't care about rich.
Yeah.
That's not her deal.
But just
But
poor. Yeah, go ahead.
well, oh yeah, it's overcoming a particular way
Yeah.
of, and she's not saying this because she's like regretful of her past, but it was like a lot to overcome.
Yeah.
And what's your main job though? Because there's a main goal here. She says again, to be a song, to carry her song to the world. She says to bring a message of hope to others in dark times.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
there's a healing to that, you know, because we can listen to her songs, and hopefully it's like she wants us to experience feeling like we're heard and seen
Yeah.
and understood, and we're uplifted somehow.
Yeah, I can see that when you sing about a hardship that Jane Doe has, she feels like, well, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. And this is
Yeah.
Loretta Lynn sharing my burden, shouldering my burden with me. So,
And there are also ways of, I don't know, they like give her power. Like
yeah,
she puts her pain into these songs, and then they give her like power and energy to keep going, you know? And
Yeah.
also
and hers are
there's,
songs that are a woman has struggles but overcomes them. So,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You get it. And that's why she respects you so much. It really
Oh,
does.
likewise. Oh my gosh. Okay, what kind of work do you plan to do now on the other side?
She says that she's going to take a break for a while.
Good. Please.
Take a little break. She shows me a porch, and sitting around a porch, like a house with a really beautiful wraparound porch.
Yeah.
And she's gonna sit there and she's just gonna play her guitar
Oh,
and sing, and others, like there's others that join her, and I see like a can. It's just really old style
yeah.
music, and they're all just going to play together, and
Ken.
all of her friends.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the calluses on your fingers now.
No,
Do that.
but that's part of her break. She just says she's going to take a break for a little while. She was busy in this life.
Oh God, I
know?
know. All right. Oh, go ahead.
After that, it's being decided. She doesn't know yet.
Okay. Do you want to share, or can you share another life that most influenced your one as Loretta Lynn?
She said, okay, this should be interesting. And she laughed. Okay, let's see what she's going to show me. how interesting. She's showing me a lifetime of, and she's, where are you? England. She's in England. But she's a, very much like a street person or a beggar, something
Okay.
like that.
Male?
And
Male or female?
she's a kid.
Oh,
And
kid, male or
yeah,
female?
little girl.
Okay.
She's with her mother and with her son, or not sons. What, Freudian slip? No, the little boy in this, her brother is her son in this lifetime.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Got it.
that's why she said son. So
Oh,
she's with those souls, and they are very, very poor, and it's just like living, for survival. And so, and they didn't ever overcome this.
yeah.
And so this was, I think, her most recent lifetime. And so as a result of that direct memory, it's like she wanted to learn how to come in, and through her efforts, and there's understanding of how things work here. I mean, she understands now.
Right.
Through her own efforts, she wants to be able to overcome.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why she picked this trajectory again.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, what happened to you in that lifetime? Did you die of starvation or exposure or?
She shows me,
Lady?
sorry, there's a very harsh winter.
Oh gosh.
There's one winter that there's a lot of snow on the ground, and she's walking, and they freeze.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's terrible. Oh, all right. Well, that life is done. So thank God. All right. So, is there anything that you want to share that almost nobody knows about?
Oh, also just one more thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Her father is not present in that life,
Okay.
but her father is her husband in this lifetime, and they were working out.
Oh, karmic stuff.
So,
Dewey. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I got it. Got it.
Okay.
We all have karma to deal with.
Last
don't
thing
we?
she wanted.
Okay. Anything that's kind of fun that not too many people know about you?
Can you hear me, Elisa? Oh,
Well, you
there
broke
you
up a
are.
little bit, but you're fine now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's working. She says that she's grateful that she got to talk to you today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Oh, this is wonderful. But any little known facts about you?
Oh, little known facts.
Yes.
She shows me is it your cat? She shows me a black cat. Oh, okay. I think she's very superstitious.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
Okay, she shows me a black cat like crossing her path,
Oh,
and I can hear my dog barking in the courtyard. I'm sorry. And
hi, Winnie.
she, well, Winnie's being Winnie. And so, and she like shows me a little bit of like, they have a lot of in her family growing up, they have all these like really interesting, really old superstitions.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and they're all like kind of ingrained into, this is fascinating. They're sort of ingrained into her life. Like
Oh,
you don't do, you don't wash clothes at a certain time
oh,
because,
wow.
right, and there's like, you keep different things in different places to keep the spirits happy and things like that.
Oh, okay.
So
Like
there's
early
kind
Pink
of
Floyd.
like, yeah, it's part of like,
That's fun.
there's like a tradition or a folklore that's kind of part of the way she grows up. Okay, I got
bet.
it finally.
bet.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Any last messages for your fans and or family?
She says for her fans that she wouldn't be herself, Loretta, if it weren't for her fans.
Yeah.
So she's eternally, I love you, and I'm eternally grateful
Oh,
for her family. She says she's been in contact with
Okay,
many of
yeah.
her children, and they are aware of it, so they know.
Good.
But that she's showing me the image of it's a white, it's like what is it? A dove, I think.
Okay.
And it is significant to one of her children somehow. So
Okay, hopefully they'll find this
she's hoping so, because they'll be like, oh yes.
confirmation. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How are you as a mother? And then just one more question.
Young.
Well, I know. How was that?
Is difficult.
No.
She says, like all, she feels like she was a good mom, actually.
Good.
This is one of the things she was talking about with her blind spot. There are parts of being a mom that she could have done better with her children. Well, there's also the reality. She didn't, speak about this much, but the reality of being a public figure and being a mother at the same time. It's
absolutely, and busy all the time. It must be, and being a difficult marriage. So it must have, but all things considered, you felt like you were a good mother, considering how young you were and the marriage and, being busy.
this
and
is what she's saying about being a mother. She tried her best.
That's good. That's all any of us can do as moms.
Mhm.
And that's awesome.
And she wants mothers to know that she understands how difficult it can be. There are hard days when you're a mom.
Do any of your children have the gifts that you have of a beautiful voice and songwriting, storytelling?
It does look like it.
You don't have to name it, but they're
She says all of her children are gifted.
Yeah.
In different ways. Yes, there are two of them, I think, that sing.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Last but not least, anything, Eric, that you want to ask, or Courtney, you want to ask, and of course, Loretta, do you want to say anything about that little rascal of mine?
She really very much loves your son. She thinks he's
A hoot.
yeah, he's a the thing she appreciates about Erik is his commitment.
Mm.
His commitment, because he has a big commitment. He's taken on a big role.
Yeah.
And let's see, does Erik have any questions for her? He says, Mom, you did a great job.
Thank you, baby. All right, well, that's it.
I love you.
I love you, and thank you so much, Loretta. We'll probably have other questions for you later, and but rest, please rest.
She's gonna put her feet up for a while.
Please do. All right, love you, and love you, Erik. Love you, Courtney. CourtneyDillon.com.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.